Let's jump right into this explainer. Picture this. You're a PhD scholar or MBA student surviving on way too much coffee, working late on your dissertation. You were staring at a massive stack of returned surveys, but the data just feels flat. You're completely stuck. Well, enter Dr. Mira, a seasoned research supervisor. She takes one look at her student's desk and knows exactly what's missing. It's time to introduce some modern technology-driven qualitative data collection methods.
Dr. Mira hits the student with a critical question. Are questionnaires really enough? Because honestly, some research questions simply cannot be answered through standard surveys alone. Surveys rely so heavily on a participant's memory and, their ability to articulate their actions after the fact. But what if your research demands data from spontaneous actions, vibrant digital spaces, or actual lived environments?
As Dr. Mira points out, there's often a massive gap between what people say they do on a survey and what they actually do in reality. Human behavior doesn't happen in a vacuum, right? It unfolds in physical spaces, in online communities, and in our everyday movements. So, to truly understand it, we have to study real actions exactly as they happen.
Part 1. Capturing Action with Videography.
Our first stop on this fieldwork tour with Dr. Mira is the physical workplace, where she introduces our first tool, videography. Now, in a research context, this isn't about making a Hollywood movie. It's all about recording moving images to collect observational data of real-time human interaction. And it is incredibly powerful because it captures exactly what a stationary sit-down interview misses. Things like body language, how people use space, and those deeply ingrained work practices.
Just imagine setting up a camera to record a typical team meeting. Researchers can replay this permanent record to go completely beyond just the loudest voice in the room. You can observe all those subtle group dynamics. Who rolls their eyes? Who leans in? You catch the microgestures and the actual, messy decision-making processes. You're analyzing what people actually do, which yields some incredibly rich behavioral data.
Part 2. Decoding communities with Netnography.
Next up, Dr. Mira guides her student out of the physical office and right into the digital space. Welcome to Netnography. As defined by researcher Robert Kozinets, Netnography essentially brings traditional ethnography to the internet. It's about studying online communities where participation is driven by a shared interest. So, instead of observing a physical village, researchers are studying unprompted digital conversations on blogs, forums, reviews, and social media networks.
The sheer richness of digital data really clicks when you think about this 2013 quote from Pachter, who said that online textual exchanges are analogous to written speech. By treating online text this way, a researcher can quietly listen in on naturally occurring conversations around brands, services, or social issues. It's literally like being an observer sitting on a bench in a public park, but with a permanent, searchable record of everything being said.
So what does a researcher actually see when they look at a digital community screen or a social media dashboard? Well, they capture authentic, raw user language. They get to see peer-to-peer interactions, completely unfiltered complaints, and raw emotions. This totally bypasses the limitations of a survey because you aren't asking someone to remember how they felt. You're capturing the collective community meaning precisely when and where it's happening.
Part 3. Contextualizing Experience, Mobile Methods.
For the final part of our conceptual tour, we move into the lived environment, what actually happens when people are on the move. Dr. Mira points the student toward a mobile method called go-alongs. Pioneered by researchers like Margie Kusenbach, go-alongs involve participating in patterns of movement with subjects as they engage in spatial social activities. It's all about intimately connecting memory, place, and lived experience in real time.
Picture it like this. The researcher is literally walking with a participant through a neighborhood, maybe a university campus, or a busy project site. As they walk together, the spatial context naturally triggers memories and behaviors that would probably never come up in a sterile, fluorescent-lit interview room. The environment itself becomes an active prompt for the conversation.
When you compare these two approaches, the contrast is stark. The traditional sit-down interview is often completely decontextualized. It relies entirely on what the subject can summon up from memory. The go-along, on the other hand, actively organizes experiences spatially. It creates a shared experience between the researcher and the participant, revealing a narrative that organically unfolds through the physical place.
Part 4. The Ethics of Observation.
Okay, but before our eager student rushes out to set up cameras and follow people around, Dr. Mira hits the pause button. She needs to emphasize the heightened ethical stakes here. Because these methods get so close to real life, obtaining informed consent is absolutely non-negotiable. Second, researchers have to carefully determine the boundaries between public and private domains. And third, all sensitive data must be securely stored and strictly anonymized.
Think about it. Creating the permanent visual record through videography is an incredibly intrusive thing to do. So, to protect the privacy and professional conduct of participants, researchers often have to add heavy layers of digital blurring to the video data. This ensures the interactions can still be analyzed, but without exposing any individuals to harm or professional risk.
And these strict ethics apply just as strongly to digital data. Even when you're mining public online digital footprints, Dr. Mira reminds the student of a vital thought from Kozinets. We must not forget the participatory and reflective part of our research. It is absolutely crucial to respect platform rules, honor the privacy expectations of the participants, and use responsible quotation practices. Bottom line, as researchers, our primary directive is always to do no harm.
Part 5. Choosing your research method.
With the ethics firmly understood, Dr. Mira equips the student with a final, practical framework. Consider this your ultimate academic cheat sheet. If your research question requires you to understand unspoken group dynamics, go with Videography. If you need to decode culture and meaning within online groups, Netnography is your tool. And if you want to know how a physical place actually shapes human experience, choose mobile methods like the Go-Along.
Dr. Mira leaves her student, and all of us, with an empowering final thought. To truly understand the beautiful, messy complexity of human behavior, we have to move beyond simply asking people what they do. We need to observe action, follow context, and study meaning exactly where it happens. The tools are right here in your hands. So, looking at your own work, what will you observe today?